Welcome to TheBradTaylor, where we have a purpose and a passion for business. I'm so excited today. It's my wife's first time doing a video and podcast with me, other than the little short videos that I've done that I know you love doing. So, we're going to talk a little bit about today. I know you're kind of nervous here. Are you nervous?
A little bit.
Yeah. Let's talk about how long we worked together. So what's it been? 25, 26 years?
Since longer than that, really.
Yeah, but that what goes into Florida. So let's talk about since we've been in the
since
media.
1994.
Yeah,
so
okay.
24 almost.
Yeah, next year
years.
will be 25 years we've worked together.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is like a super long time. And
Quarter of a
I think
century.
what's really cool about doing these little sessions, we probably should keep them to about 10 minutes, is we're going to be able to share some of our experiences in mistakes we made together as a couple, and maybe, hopefully, what other people can take and learn from our mistakes, or what made us successful in working together. Because to work together for 25 years is probably tough for a lot of people.
Takes a really special person, a really special couple.
Because you have to work together, you have to
Be married
together,
raise kids together.
yeah. So, okay.
Always together.
So, all right. So you married an entrepreneur. We won't say how long ago, but what's your perspective in marrying an entrepreneur? Like what was it like for you? Because for people that don't know, you were a pediatric nurse, and this was in Florida, and you did an awesome job working as a nurse. But how was it marrying somebody that didn't have a consistent income like you had?
Well, I think that was really scary because when I decided actually at a fairly young age that I wanted to be a registered nurse, which is what I went to school for. And I never really thought much beyond you go to work, you get your paycheck, and you go back and you do it again. And then maybe once a year, your boss meets with you and reviews you, and you just keep doing your job. So when I married you, it was all of a sudden based on how the business was doing. And once you pay your people first, if there's anything left over, when the economy is bad, you're the one who takes it first because you've got to take care of everybody else. So it was scary because I couldn't understand why you would want to do something that didn't guarantee you a certain pay.
And your family, your mom, dad, your uncles, everybody worked for a company. In my family, there were really no entrepreneurs. My dad worked for the same company for 40 plus years. And my brothers and sisters all work for some type of company. So,
right. I think it was with my generation of the cousins that a lot of that changed. Aside from an aunt and uncle who have the Allstate business, which was
right.
Sort of a little bit of an entrepreneurship there.
True.
You have to do your own thing. But yeah, definitely a different mindset for sure.
So how did you know you could work with me? Because marrying an entrepreneur is one thing, but working with me or working for an entrepreneur is different because we are a little bit different in the fact that you're very low key and relaxed, and I'm hyper, energetic, always excited, passionate.
Yeah.
It's kind of those 12 intangibles in my book coming out, chapter 1. And you have a lot of those intangibles, but in a way we probably complement each other because I don't know if two hyper people or two really excited people could work together versus more of a balance. But what do you think? I mean, like, when did you really know when we moved to Oregon, for example, and started our media publishing business? When did you think or know we could work together full time?
Right. Well, I don't know that there's ever a moment that all of a sudden I realized it. I think it started out of necessity because you were working 7 days a week until 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm dealing with the kids all day, every day. And then on the weekends, you tell me I'm going out to take pictures, and so you're gone again. So that's really where I started.
Those were the days before digital photography,
Right.
when we had to go out and
days
literally
worth of photos.
take 35 millimeter pictures of homes. And then what do we have to do with those pictures?
We had to convert those pictures
On a copy stand. For those of you that don't know what
So
a
we would have
copy
a
stand
negative
is,
of it.
it would be 2 lights on this board, and your camera is here, and we take pictures of the picture.
Dinosaur ages. So anyway, so that's how I started, because I said, well, why don't I go out and take the pictures and you hang out with the kids?
And what were you doing? But you were still maintaining your
I was
nursing
still
license.
working as a nurse,
Right.
and kids were in school. So
And
I
for
think-
those of you that don't know, as you're listening to this or watching this, we moved 3,500 miles from Florida to Oregon. We didn't know anybody, not a soul in Oregon, and we rented a home. And I'm excited to interview your dad. By the way, I'm so excited
he's
to.
very excited too.
Yeah, he
can't wait.
Yeah, I bet.
So anyway, I think when I started taking the pictures and we started working together, and you just kind of started showing me what you were doing and where you needed help, and we complement each other because our personalities are very different. And I think when we've worked with people over the years, couples over the years that have come to us about maybe working together, and you see 2 people who have your personality or 2 people who have my personality, typically aren't the ones that.
Do you remember the couple that came, the company that we represented before we started LHM? Awesome company. And they called us up one day, and they wanted to send a couple to our office to look at potentially doing what we did. And they wanted to send the couple to us because they knew how well we worked together. So the couple spent the day with us. Remember that?
Oh gosh, I could never forget that day.
What do you remember from that day?
I remember that all she did was belittle him, chastise him, pick on him. He could do nothing right. They could never work together. We knew that within hours of meeting with them.
And we talk about this in our book. In chapter 7, Kathy and I wrote a whole chapter on working with your spouse. But I just remember looking at you going, I can't wait for them to leave.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was
painful.
It was painful.
But it was a learning lesson for us, too, because it helped us know what to look for in people that were going to work together. So,
what do you think the number one thing is what do you think the number one thing that makes us successful in working together as a couple?
well,
Full time.
I think
Full time, because we're not working part time. We literally are both in the office all day, and then
You're here a little longer than me.
yeah, okay. And then we're at home at night all day. So what do you think the number one thing that makes us successful?
I think the biggest thing that we've done, not only in the office, at home with the kids, is kind of the divide and conquer mentality, where you do what you do best, I do what I do best, and we talk to each other about it, but we let each other do what they're best at.
Yeah, I tell everyone, I do everything you don't want to do, and you do everything I don't want to do. And really, that's what made us really successful.
Right. That's very true.
Because remember in the beginning, you told me, you said, I'll work with you,
But I'll never sell.
but I'll never sell. I don't want to really talk to people. I'll do all the admin and everything behind the scenes. And I will tell you, that lasted about 6 months. You became almost better than I was in a lot of ways because of your personality. But remember the lady, remember when we had our magazines in Oregon, and the lady in the woman who represented a development in
Vancouver.
Vancouver.
Washington.
What did she say to you?
She said, I didn't buy from him because I need to advertise my properties in this magazine. She had like a unit place up on the water somewhere, I think. She said, I bought because he's so passionate about what he does.
And that's what it's really all about, passion.
Yep. She didn't even need what you were selling.
She didn't.
Well, she did. She just really didn't know she needed what you were
But a lot of people will say that. But sometimes your personality is better for some people. I really believe that it's good to kind of switch off a little bit, because sometimes you have a better way of explaining things to people than maybe I do.
Right. But we've heard that over the years too. I mean, we've heard it on both sides. Oh my gosh, I don't know how you're married to that guy, how you work with that guy. Does he ever sleep?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they're happy to, you know, deal with you for selling and information and what they're going to do next to help their business. And then they're happy to have the other side of the coin that's a little less jumping around, but still getting the job done.
So let's see. Let's talk a few more minutes and we'll wrap it up. And then we're going to continue these little interactions. We'll probably be putting one out every 3 weeks for the next 4 months.
Is that your compromise?
Yeah, because I know we can't cover it all. I have a whole list of things I want to talk about, but I want to keep it really short. So remember when I got sick? Mm-hmm. I almost died. I had this, what did I have, a reaction to something? Yeah.
You had a reaction to a procedure that you had that only like 2% of the people would have that reaction, and you had it.
And what did you have to do?
Well, we were in the middle of production of an 84-page magazine. I remember
we were very new in the business.
And we published every 4 weeks at the time.
Yeah.
So everything was
literally we were
fast-paced.
probably within a year old. And we're 80. Okay, and so how did you do it? I'm like in the hospital.
So I called one of the realtors who we loved. Her first name was Linda. I remember her quite well. And she said, I'll be over. And she came over, and
in those
two of
days,
the publishers.
And in those days, we used word processors.
Oh my gosh.
With I don't even know.
We had to type it up.
We had to type our copy.
Glue it on to a big piece of pink and white paper for every single position that was in the magazine.
Those in the olden days.
I really don't know how they turned it into a magazine back then. But anyway, they did a great job. So Linda came and Bob came, who was helping us in Vancouver.
Yeah, and some other people.
And we got it done.
And you had all these people helping you put the book together, magazine together.
Yep.
And then I don't want to jump ahead to our next series of discussions, but one day I think I came to you and I said, I think we should work together full time and you need to quit your nursing.
I think it was after you were sick.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And so I
after you saw how great of a job I did.
You did an awesome job. You are awesome. And I came to you one day and I said, I think that you need to stop practicing nursing.
Well, that's not really what you said.
What did I say?
You said, every time you go to work for the doctor, we're losing money.
I did say that.
Because we need to be working together.
Right.
And so we did. And the rest is history, as they say.
Well, yes.
That was really hard, though. I had to retire my nursing license. I stopped working for the doctor.
And you weren't just on our end. You were a pediatric nurse.
Right. But I was working for a sports medicine doctor at the time. So I held on, did my continuing education for the next couple of years, and then I had to retire my license because I wasn't practicing. So that was when I really flipped the switch and have to be an entrepreneur because there was no turning back on the nursing.
So were you nervous?
I was nervous, but I think also we were in a good place when we did that.
Well, we were growing so rapidly, it would have been.
I mean, it made sense.
We didn't really have a choice. So next time we talk, I'll tell you what I want to go over. I brought something.
You have that look on your face.
Yeah, so I brought something. I found your planner.
Oh my gosh.
That you used in the 90s. A Franklin planner. Remember when we used to go to the Franklin store?
I love the Franklin
God, I
store.
love it. So I found my planner that I used. And you know something I found in here that I got to share with you. And it's kind of cool. And the only reason I'm sharing this is because this was our daughter when we moved to California. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Well, today she's a senior.
Just started her first day of school today.
Yeah. She started her first day as a senior. Boy, times have flown. And so I think what we should talk about is how, as a couple, did moving forward, next several series, how did we stay organized? And in my book, I talk about that. I talk about that in chapter 7. And I talk about that in just being organized in another chapter. So that's one thing I want to talk about. And then another thing I want to talk about is having mutual respect for each of us. Because when you're so comfortable with each other, like I am with you, and we trust each other, and we make decisions together, sometimes we'll argue, and we'll talk about that, how we don't argue.
Not much.
No, we really don't argue. I think that I say my case, you say your case, and then we figure it out.
Right.
Remember the sign I bought years and years ago, and that I hung behind your door? Mm-hmm. Or your desk, right? I borrowed that sign from you.
Oh, gosh.
So this is a sign that I bought for you. It says, I own the company, and he works for me. So I bought this sign.
So now the truth comes out.
I bought this sign for you, and but that's when you feel comfortable as a couple working together. Because something that we're going to talk about down the road is how you don't have power struggles. Because you and I have witnessed so many couples trying to work together, and what happens?
It doesn't work, and one of them ends up leaving, and one of them ends up running the business with somebody else. Or they fail.
Or they fail. And we can share a little bit about that in the series of things we're going to do, but it's having specific, what do you call them, task where you know your responsibilities, I know my responsibilities, and it's good to do that and lay those out probably before you work together.
And some of them you'll learn as you go, but we also, we
not micromanaging
we had
each
really
other.
Good systems in place, so we knew what we both needed to do, and we have always had systems in place to accomplish those. So,
but
we weren't winging it,
right? But how would you feel if I was micromanaging the accounting, for example?
Oh, have you ever even entered the accounting?
No, I don't want to. Now, it doesn't mean we don't sit down and go over stuff.
Right.
But it's like,
no, we review reports and bank statements and
and it's stuff. Like when we used to run a book, series of magazines, you were in charge of production. I didn't really do much.
You've never done anything except sell the pages and turn them over to me.
Okay, well, Kathy, my lovely wife, my partner, thank you for sitting down with me on this. And I think this is going to be a series of videos and podcasts we're going to do, because I think we have so much to offer, and I look forward to everyone staying in tune and continuing to watch and listen to these
little tidbits
along the way. And this is Brad.
This is Kathy.
And thank you for listening and watching.